Joining us on the news to discuss this further is foreign policy analyst Bolu Michael-Biyi, and he joins us from Toronto, Canada. Bolu, interesting times we find ourselves both home and abroad. Well, what do you think of the Israeli military's decision to escalate airstrikes on Gaza, especially given the significant civilian casualties that are being reported?
Well, thank you for having me. And, Israel says they're attacking Hamas and, terrorist targets, as they said. But we are seeing that civilians are dying in these new airstrikes. We're seeing children and women being targeted as well, which is quite unfortunate. And this brings us to kind of, to begin to calculate the humanitarian cost of this war. I mean, a lot of people have died, and fresh 400 people have lost their lives as well. So this decision of Israel to restart airstrikes will attract condemnation from the international community and international organizations, and it's just increasing and piling up the sufferings of Gazans, which is pretty unfortunate. I think the timing is quite wrong, being that is the holy month of Ramadan, but Israel doesn't seem to care much about this issue and just wants their hostages released. And I personally do not think that pursuing military action in such a brutal manner is the way to go.
And how might the recent strikes impact the ongoing humanitarian situation in Gaza? And what role do international organizations have in addressing this crisis?
The strike has made the situation worse, and what we might begin to see that is for international organizations to begin to call for a ceasefire in a stronger term. And right now we see that the hospitals are already struggling with injured people. People are being displaced. They are really struggling. So that's what we're seeing, and this situation is just going to make the situation, this airstrike is going to make the situation worse for Gazans and put pressure even on the hospitals. And the UN is called an international organization that are calling for a ceasefire, but they too are trying to tread softly, being that they do not want their own staff as well to be caught in the middle of everything or losing some of their staff. We've seen situations whereby the UN officials and international organizations and press and journalists and all being targeted as well, which is not a good thing. And these international organizations, including the United Nations, they play a crucial role in calling for a ceasefire and also helping the displaced people.
And Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu has vowed to intensify military action. How do you foresee this affecting the broader Middle East and global reactions? Or just the broader Middle East, the Houthi rebels, Iran, Gaza, Hamas, all in between?
Well, increased military action means that's going to increase tension as well within the region, and other countries, or some countries will support Israel. Of course, we're seeing the United States, they're always beside Israel. They're always on their side. They are actually funding that war in support of Israel. And some of us as well would condemn it. Each warring party definitely have their own team, their own supporters. So it will affect definitely the relationship of Israel with other Arab nations. It might actually aggravate the anger that the Arab nations are currently having towards Israel. It might increase the resentment. Yes, it might also affect their relationship with some Western countries who are not really pro-Israel. Even if they are pro-Israel, they might not support the fact that they are killing a lot of people in large numbers. So yes, the Israel's relationship with a lot of countries, especially the Arab nations, is currently hanging in the balance.
It hangs in a balance indeed. I mean, given the timing of the airstrikes during Ramadan, which you stated earlier, how do you think this would influence the response from Gaza, that is a Muslim, is majority Muslim, and also the countries at large and the international community? It's the Arab, is the Middle East, Ramadan, predominantly Muslim. What do you think the response would be like?
Well, I think Israel is probably intentional, making doing the, carrying out such airstrike at this time because it's going to anger. I think it's just to anger the Muslim community, and that's going to lead to stronger condemnation and, of course, resentments towards Israel. So this increased tension, is just attracting more enemies for Israel. So in the next couple of days or even months ahead, we might be seeing countries calling for, ceasefire or stronger condemnation against Israel. We may also see that there's protests springing up all over the world, as we've seen in the past, So it's not only an issue between Israel and Hamas. A lot of people are actually quite sentimental and they take this issue quite in a very personal way, and we have Muslims all over the world. So we might see protests springing up. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but there's a chance for that. So I feel that Israel may have, tried diplomacy first, try and have a conversation before just resuming airstrikes that way. But so far, Hamas has not really responded in terms of military action, but they've condemned Israel's action for carrying out such airstrike, especially in this time and season.
Well, Bolu, many thanks for doing this with us. I appreciate you for coming on. Bolu Michael-Biyi, he is a public affairs analyst, or better yet, foreign affairs analyst, giving us a bit of insight with the resumed airstrikes with Israel on Gaza. In the meantime, we switch gears.